transform, translate. We probably want to translate this on the y-axis since we're moving it up and down. That would be moving on the y-axis. So let's just set that at, we'll say that's position 0. And then let's add a body class here because we haven't done any JavaScript yet. So we'll say menu active. And then we would do a new class, or we would do a new thing here that says menu active navigation. And we would transform that. So transform, see, now this is going to be a little different because we don't know the height. So do we want to set the height of this container? We definitely can. Let's just say 500 pixels, just for the heck of it. So if we know that the height is 500 pixels high or tall, and you would have to do this if it was coming out from the left or the right, you would have to set a width. And usually I do like 300 pixels. So we would transform, translate Y, and I think we would do a positive number to move it down. So translate Y 500 pixels. And let's make sure that there's a background color. White. There it is. It's right there. It's not really styled. So if we come in here to the browser and take that off, just like that. So that's working. We don't have an animation on it yet, but it is working. And Silence says, I am loving the idea. Can you add some bouncing effect when it is near the end of the animation? Maybe we could use animate and try a bouncing effect. Let's get it working first. Do we want to move the whole page down, or do we just want to have it translate or transform? Yeah, I don't know. Is that good for accessibility to move an entire page up and down like that? I kind of just want to have this come down on its own. And question, have you used the Chrome extension like Debug CSS and CSS Peeper to just get an easy understanding of the look and feels, add lines and grids, and kind of helps with the pixels and parameters? I haven't. I just use the dev tools and my own imagination. So, but yeah, I mean, I could definitely check those out. I haven't though. Good. Thank you for the suggestion. So let's keep our menu active here. So this is just permanently open. Let's style these actual nav items because I don't think we need this much space. So let's get our drawer styled, and then we'll be able to figure out how much space we actually need here. There's no good way to do this dynamically. So it is kind of a best practice that you're transitioning a transform, but it's not the end of the world if you transition like top, bottom, left, right. That's not the end of the world. I did that for years. I've only recently been transitioning the transform. So if we didn't want to set a height, if you really needed that to be more dynamic, you could just use bottom instead of transform. Since this is a static website, I'm comfortable setting a height. It doesn't bother me. But if you really need this website to be dynamic, you might consider a different approach than this, just so you have the flexibility on the height. So, or maybe from top -40 VH to top 0 translates smooth. Yeah, that's a good, maybe from top -40 to top. Yeah. So if it's a best practice to transition a transform. That's why I'm doing it this way. But you could absolutely do top or bottom. You could absolutely transition a top or a bottom instead. I'm going with transform because that's the better. That's considered a best practice for transitions. So, but yes, you could absolutely do it that way too. And if you, yeah, like I said, if you needed it, although I would honestly take the approach of, I would take the approach of bottom 100%. Here's why. If you transition, although you're going to still need to have a value for it. Still need to have a value for it to know the height. Bottom 100%. Should we do an experiment? Bottom 100% pushes it 100% off, but top 0 would push it back down. Should we do an experiment? Because I'm curious now. If you didn't want to worry about the height, so you would have maybe top. Is auto a valid? Yeah, auto is valid. Do you even need left? You do need left. So what if instead we go from, you would go to top 0, bottom auto. That works too. And then you don't have to, you still have to transition. You would still have to transition top and bottom. Well, do you? I don't know. I'll just say all.